Welcome to the final edition of the Bones of Advertising for 2021. Before we hit 2022, of course, well, my boy, it's been another great year of Bones, but it's been a bloody interesting year, that's for sure. I thought maybe the bone this week could be, let's bone on the bone.
Let's bone on the bone.
Let's bone on the bones of advertising and make that our bone and just sort of see where we roll. It's been a very, very interesting year, and
it has.
Thoroughly enjoyed the sanctuary of the bones as always. But geez, we've been through a hell of a lot, haven't we?
We've covered a fair few. We've covered some ground this year. I just want to, before we go any further, I just want to have a quick shout out to a guy I was talking to on the golf course on the weekend, who said that he's very much enjoying listening to the podcast. So shout out to Paul if you're listening today.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah,
Great
thanks,
work.
Paul. Thanks, Paul. Anytime. No, we had a little bit of a retrospective on a couple of some of the world and some of the Australia's great agencies. There'll be more of that next year, of course. But that was quite interesting, going back and looking at what good advertising was and how well good advertising still stacks up.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting for me. And I was fortunate enough to have a chat with one of the founders of one of the agencies, and just talking to him. Obviously, he's in the twilight of his career, but was just still sharp as a tack and just still full of the same. I imagine what he was like in the day when he was pumping out cracking campaigns for some of the biggest brands in Australia. And I guess thinking also about, you know, the guts it takes to get something started, but then to get it started and then go after the largest opportunities, and then to go to a point where you're being bought out by global companies. I mean, it was extraordinary to go through that journey. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's not that we're saying, I don't believe we're saying that, you know, advertising agencies these days are shit. No, I wouldn't say that. Well, I wouldn't say it to their faces, but but like, I think good advertising, whenever it was made, good advertising stacks up. Like, there's something resonant about it, as over and over and over. Like it plugs into something deep inside, and whether that's just a little hook. Like, I can still remember the KFC song, back when it was Kentucky Fried, the first time it was Kentucky Fried.
Right.
The cows and the sheep and the birds and the horses were mooing and baaing and whistling and neighing, having lunch in the sun, while Hugo and I were having none. In the back seat we sat, getting thinner. The rumblings cried, "Give us Kentucky Fried, time for dinner." So Dad stopped the car,
and Hugo said, "You go."
And I said, "No, you go."
And soon he was back with the pack, and then Dad hit the track. So we ate in the back, feeling better inside. A drive isn't funny with an empty tummy. Thank goodness for Kentucky Fried.
I like the way they've gone back to Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC have gone, you know what? We're fried. Let's just embrace it. So you're welcome to the fried side of life. I thought that was really clever.
Yep.
But the original song from back in the 60s or 70s or whenever it was, Hugo said, "You go," and I said, "No, you go." And Sudi was back with a snack, and then Dad hit the track, and we all had a snack, feeling better inside. A drive isn't funny on an empty tummy. Thank goodness for Kentucky Fried. Like,
First time I've ever heard it, mate.
I don't know where that's hidden for however long it's been hidden for, but someone starts singing it, bloody bang, there it is.
Snap straight back. And I guess that's the fundamental of, as you say, not saying that advertising agencies aren't fabulous, because they are right now, but the fundamentals of what makes great advertising stands the test of time. And if you can work out who your customer is, have a really good understanding of what they're consuming, whatever that is. Maybe that was back in the day of, the 60s, they're on the wireless or the radio, like they're tuned in, dialed into the cricket. That tune comes on, locks on. Everyone's like, what a great tune. You're humming it. And all of a sudden it comes on again. You're a bit further on your road trip down to Bonnie Doon or wherever you're headed. And ultimately it just locks on. And that's the whole idea. Is there enough cues in it for us to remember it when Dad drives past KFC or Kentucky Fried back then and says, ship it in.
Yeah, just pull over there, Dad. Oh, the car's running a bit rough. Maybe we need to let it just sit for about half an hour, Dad.
Let's take the radiator cap off. Remember those days?
We could just sit and watch that. And I love the recognition. Like, I saw an ad on the weekend, which when I saw the first ad in this campaign, I was a bit like, it didn't tickle my branding bone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the greatest branding ad. It's for Delcado avocados.
Delcado
avocados. And I thought, they could have done a little bit more with Delcado, like whatever. And the first one was, the guy walking through the avocado plantation, the picker, and there's his mate hanging upside down from an avocado tree. And he says, what are you doing? And he says, I've just given these little fellas a little bit of support. They're doing it tough. We're raising them for a whole year. Like, it was just the whole thing. And it was just like, yeah, it's funny. It's whimsical. It's, but it doesn't kind of brand them. But I saw the next one in the campaign, and I think their brand is lighthearted humour. And so it's just like, we're not saying that avocados are the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're not trying to sell us any of the health benefits. It's just like, if you're going to buy an avocado that someone looks like they've cared about growing and they're prepared to have a smile about themselves. Have you seen it? The guy walking, he's looking at this beautiful lake first thing in the morning. And he's the picker, like the serious one. Obviously, an avocado grower cares about himself. Yeah. Sitting there with his picking buddy, thing on. Yeah. He's looking out on this beautiful scene. Like, there's a lake, there's mist rising off the lake. The sun's just about to come up. It's glorious. And all of a sudden, his fat mate comes past on a little blow-up bloody unicorn or swan or something.
On the lake, just in his budgie smugglers, just coming along. And towing behind him on these little baby swan, little rubber blow-up things, is this string of avocados. and his mate says, what are you doing? He says, these guys have been growing and they've been putting their best in for the last 12 months. I thought I'd give them a little bit of a break. Just give them a reward.
You coming in? No, mate.
No.
And that's just it. Like, it's just like, that's it. Those two characters, they've got two characters. They've got a tone. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah. And I'll remember them from now on. So I've done a complete 180 on the Delcado avocados. Hats off to you. Well done. I look forward to
Delcado avocado, ship them in, I say.
Keep me entertained and I will buy your avocados.
Love it.
That's what I'm saying. So,
bloody good advertising. I guess that just brings us back to looking at a couple of absolute cracking Aussie brands as well. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, we had a look at Aussie Post and the singing letterboxes, but way back when, there was just some great stuff. Then Qantas, we had a look at Qantas, and remember the crazy koala bear who didn't want people to come?
Unbearable. That's what it is. Unbearable. Tourists. Australia is crawling with tourists. And I know who's to blame. I know. Qantas. That's who. Qantas. What a name for an airline. Every day, every single day. I hate Qantas.
What the hell was he thinking?
Madness.
Absolute madness it was, JD.
But then you look at the difference between a great agency like Mojo and their classic kind of belief that we're just here to entertain people. We're just like, if someone's going to invite you into their house at 6 o'clock while they're sitting down for dinner, you tell them a joke or you sing them a song. And they were just like, you ought to be congratulated. Oh, just fantastic.
It makes a baked potato a real congratulator, and just a dash can make the mash a smash. It gives the cauliflower its very finest hour, and even beans get keener in a flash. It gives a zing to everything, I'm told. It's the reason why the crumpet's got the holes. Oh, it gives the humble pumpkin a taste that's really something. It's always number one upon a scone. It makes the things you're frying so very appetizing. It's been mentioned Frenchman daubered on croissants. And of course it's nice to hear the family say, gee, you ought to be congratulated. Most definitely, you really ought to be. You ought to be congratulated.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And then the Campaign Palace, of course, just cracking, simple ideas that to this day, anyone who's ever seen the Ants Pants commercial, Sick 'em Rex.
Sick 'em Rex.
Sick 'em Rex.
Hole-proof Ants Pants. It's unbelievable underwear.
Yeah, and we didn't get to the glory of Clemenger, but I'm sure we'll get to them some stage. It'd be hard to ignore them.
Yeah.
There's just been some, Saatchi and Saatchi in Sydney, they've all done this. There's been some fantastic, unbelievable campaigns. And then, we'll go overseas and get ready for greatness when we go over there next year, when we can travel in a metaphorical sense.
What do you reckon? The bones from the UK, mate, or the bones from Hawaii?
If we have to get on a plane, Craig, and fly to Hawaii to do this, it's a sacrifice I'm prepared to make.
It's a sacrifice you're prepared to make, as long as we stay on one of those resort courses where there's mandatory golf every morning, followed by a mandatory surf.
Yeah. I won't be surfing. I'll be sitting.
Of course
there.
you will. There's no I won't be. It's a rule of thumb, mate. If you want to play golf, you're coming surfing as well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Just me on a shark biscuit waiting for buddy Trevor, the great white.
We'll make sure it's a bloody big one, mate, so you can balance on it. No problem at all. But I also enjoyed my boy. I mean, back over the journey, it was another of those fantastic feelings just going through lockdowns in COVID. And I don't know what it was, 4 months this year that we endured. But again, it was just a shining light getting on this, podcast with you and talking about, how we're feeling, I guess, what's going on in the environment we're working in, and then sort of getting tactical and thinking about some of the elements of campaign creation that we sort of went through. But holistically, thoroughly enjoyed going through the process of crafting out this content on a weekly basis with you, and certainly enjoyed our continued sort of banter about everything that is bloody advertising.
Thank you, mate. And the same, right back at you. I know this is a little bit of just a little bit of a mutual circle of adoration, but I have absolutely loved it. Like every Friday, give me something to look forward to. Thursday, whenever the bloody hell technically record this. It's been a good year. I think we've done some of our best work this year. I think
so. And just a quick shout out to our editors and animators, Caro and Kiara, Kiara's done most of it this year because Cara's been babying. But God, mate, it's been fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed the. I'm sure not everyone gets to look at the vlog version of the podcast. Obviously, some of you are listening on Apple or on iTunes or on Spotify. But, the video version and some of the stuff that goes into that, I absolutely love. I think it's hilarious. Really does crack me up, and every now and then, whacking you up on your high horse, or me just talking crap and the beeps are coming in. It's just been an absolute delight.
Just bring in the Muppets again. Like, I can't wait for the election next year. There'll just get just pictures of bloody idiots, and then we'll just use them on high rotation. Like, I can't wait to see some of the garbage that comes out that will pass as political advertising over the next 6 months.
It is going to be really interesting, isn't it? And look, it'd be remiss of us not to touch base on where we're about to head into. Last year we took a look at the Christmas campaigns, and I think this year what we'll have to do is we'll take a look at the Christmas campaigns, and we'll pretend that we've dropped them straight in here.
Bingo.
Beautiful! Let me take a picture.
Oh, watch out with that thing.
You're right.
How's living in Spain, Uncle Gary?
Amazing.
We like it.
At Lidl, we're big on quality and always little on price. And we mean always.
Bingo.
Let me take a picture.
Oh, watch out with that thing.
How's living on the moon?
Amazing.
We like it.
If there's a spare one going, Lexi.
Bingo.
Let me take a picture.
Oh, watch out with that thing.
How's living forever? We like it.
Okay, I thought you'd go vegan.
Even when we're carving turkeys with lasers, we'll always be little on price.
This way. Oh no, look. He's hurt. How will he fly back to Santa? This way. Good boy. Keep going. Faster, faster.
Lift off. Space shuttle
Launch goes high up into the sky as it can. We're gonna get you back to Santa.
Aoife, you know he's not really Santa's reindeer, right?
You've got this. Go! That's like a meat fly.
Aoife, come back inside.
Aoife.
You have to go, please, go! You have to get there before Christmas. Come on, fly! Get going! Santa needs you! Get going! Come on, keep going! You're doing it!
Jenkins. Oakley. Night.
Ein Britter kommt! Ein Britter kommt!
Jim? Jim, no, don't do it!
Halt! Er ist nicht bewaffnet! Nein, Otto!
My name is Jim.
Mein Name ist Otto.
Pleased to meet you, Otto.
Freut mich.
Rose, she's called.
Sie ist schön. Sie ist schön. Danke. Happy Christmas. Frohe Weihnachten.
JD, that was bloody brilliant. That's for sure. That is another edition of the Bones of Advertising. That is another season of the Bones of Advertising. That's two down.
Thank you very much.
Park there, and Merry Christmas to you all. We'll see you again next year.
Merry Christmas to you, mate. Yeah, fun.
To you too.
We'll tidy up that last bit that the viewers don't need to see. Just the garbage that we just the stuff that we throw out that makes this podcast the quality offering that it is.